Welcome back to Testing the Internet series. You're watching Part 28, Sortable Data Lists. In the previous video, you learned how to handle shifting content, image elements. In this video, you'll learn how to automate dynamic data tables in web apps. You might have faced issues like rows shifting on sort, filters hiding data, or trouble finding specific cells. That's because most tools rely on fixed structure. But Leapwork lets you capture rows and cells reliably, no matter how the table changes. Let's take an example to test this scenario. This test case is about getting a reference to a set of data in a table. In this case, we'll look at one of the rows, and you should still be able to access this row as an object or have a reference to this row after you change the sorting in the data table. As you can see, clicking on the column headers changes the order of the rows in the table. So in this case, all we're going to do is to select one of the rows. Then we're going to click the email column to change the sorting, and then we're going to inspect the row that we selected before the sorting to make sure that we still have a reference to the correct row. Let's automate this scenario in Leapwork. Let's launch the test case page using Start Recorder. Then, since we can't select the entire row directly, we'll capture the first cell of the row using the Find Web Element block. That's it for now. Let's save and close the recorder. Now let's edit the strategy to treat the entire row as a single unit. So when we look up the strategies here, we can see we have a table that equals Table 1 with a TD that contains the text Smith. We want to change this to TR, Table Row, where the text Smith is inside the TR somewhere. When we press Validate, we can see it found one match. And if we look at the browser where we captured this, we can see that these selection criteria is covering the TR that we wanted. So we'll save this strategy. Next thing to do is to check the data inside this row. Let's turn on the recorder again and capture the email address, which is the third cell in the row. We'll use a Find Web Element block for that. We'll save and close the recorder here. And we'll link the found element into the source element of this Find Web element. This means that the query that we're going to have in this building block will use the result from this building block. In this case, the source element is a TR with a number of TDs, a number of cells inside. Let's edit the strategy. Since we're already inside the row, we don't need to access the entire table again. All we need is to target the third cell and then save it. To get the actual text inside, we'll use Get Web Text building block. And, again, I'm going to source the found element into the source element. And now, the Get Web Text will print whatever is inside the third cell into the activity log. The next thing to do is to click on the column header to sort the rows. Let's click the email header. We'll save and close the recorder here. Again, we have to inspect the element we captured. We'll use Get Web Text for it to extract the value from the cell. And we'll connect the previously found element as the source, so Leapwork knows exactly which text to retrieve. So let's try to run it and see the output from the two Get Web Text, which should be similar. As we could see here, the first Get Web Text found jsmith@gmail.com, and so did the second one. That means both Get Web Text blocks returned the same email, confirming they matched. We saw that we left-clicked on the span, which is the email to change the sorting. So we can see that the locator strategy that we used to find the row, the TR, is independent of the sorting in the data tables, which makes it much simpler to work with data tables. This was all about today's video. Let's look at the summary. At first, we opened the browser and navigated to the Sortable Data Tables test page in the Internet app. Then, we needed to find a specific row in the table, the one containing the name Smith. Since we couldn't select the row directly, we started by selecting the first cell, a single piece of data, and then changed the selection method to capture the entire row, that contains the word Smith anywhere in it. Once we had a reference to that row, we wanted to double-check the data inside it. To do that, we focused on the third cell in the row, the one with the email address. We added a block to find that specific cell and another block to read and print the email address to the activity log. After that, we clicked on the email column header to sort the table by email addresses. This reorders all the rows in the table. Then, we checked the same row we had captured before sorting to see if we still had access to the same data. We used another get web text block to read the email again and compare it with the first one. Finally, we ran the test. The results showed that both email values, before and after sorting, were the same. This proved that our way of selecting the row was not affected by the sorting, and we still had the correct reference. This test is a great example of how you can reliably work with table data, even when the content shifts around. It shows that with the right locator strategy, your automation can stay solid even as the page layout changes. Give this exercise a try yourself and see how much faster your automation can be. Moreover, to keep learning or if you ever feel stuck, explore our documentation, knowledge base, and reach out to support if needed. The answers are just a click away. Thank you for staying with us and see you in the next automation journey. It's a great way to understand how to work with dynamic tables in test automation.